Hello Internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So, the new Super Mario Bros. Movie is coming out really soon, and like most people, I'm really excited for it. It looks like it could be really good. Though, I might be a little easy to please because I really like the original Super Mario Bros. Live-action movie too. So to celebrate, I thought we'd go take a look back at a classic Super Mario Bros. Game. Since the new movie won't just be focusing solely on Mario, but rather Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad, now seems like the best time to take a look at an iconic Mario title that does the same. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're taking a look at Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES. So, let's go ahead and get this part out of the way.
Did you know that Super Mario Bros. 2 was based off a game called Okie Dokie Panic? Huh? Did ya? Did ya? Did ya?
This is probably the most well-known video game trivia ever. It's similar to telling someone, did you know that some parts of the world call soccer football? Or, you do know that professional wrestling is staged, right? We all know it, and you don't sound smarter for saying it. But I couldn't do this review without mentioning the Doki Doki Panic part, because in Japan, their Super Mario Bros. 2 was basically a remix of the first game, but made brutally difficult. The States didn't want that game, so Japan reskinned Doki Doki Panic, a promotional game that was also created by the Super Mario Bros. Team, and they called it Super Mario Bros. 2. And they ended up re-releasing it as Super Mario Bros. USA in Japan. While it didn't start as a Mario game, Doki Doki Panic was designed like one. Since it was made by the original Super Mario Bros. Team, the running and jumping mechanics are very familiar, and the game even contains POW blocks and the Star Power-Up, which were signature items in previous Mario titles. So in a way, Doki Doki Panic was secretly a Mario game anyway. And there's been several versions of Super Mario Bros. 2. While the NES version is the most played version, you could also play the game on Super Mario Bros. All-Stars for the Super Nintendo. It's got some more details in the graphics and some redone music. It's pretty much the same game, just prettier. Then there's my favorite version of the game, which is Super Mario Advance, which was a launch title for the Game Boy Advance. This version has reworked a lot of the game, including some level layouts. It also includes extras like special coins to collect in levels, Yoshi eggs to find, and it even includes voice clips.
This is as far as you go!
And on top of that, it even includes a version of the original Mario Bros. Game. But for the sake of tradition, we're going to talk about the NES version. Now, before we deep dive into this, let's go ahead and talk about the story here. So, one night Mario has a dream where he climbed a long staircase and found the world of Subcom, the land of dreams. A mysterious voice asks Mario to save the cursed land by defeating the vegetable-hating Wart. Mario wakes up and tells his comrades Luigi, Princess Toadstool, and Toad about it. They later go for a picnic and they come across a stairway like the one Mario saw in his dream. They go up the staircase and open the door to find themselves in Subcom, the same place from Mario's dream. Spooky. So let's continue talking about the game mechanics here, because even though they're very familiar, this is a very unique Mario game. So running and jumping is of course the key gameplay mechanics, but in this game Mario and friends have the ability to pull shit out of the ground. For the most part, you'll find turnips that can be used to launch back at enemies. You might also find the likes of 1-ups, coins, bombs, and even a freaking rocket. Whoa! You can also find magic potions that will lead you to a subspace area, Subcon Subspace. If you place the potion in the right area, you can find a mushroom in the subspace that will give you another hit point. And, oh yeah, so there's another big difference. Mario has a life meter. You'll stay big until you have 1 hit point left, then you'll be a teeny weeny. Another new move is the ability to super jump. Hold down the crouch button for a short amount of time and you'll be able to jump super high. Now among picking your character at the start of each level, choose wisely. If you pick Mario, I think you know what to expect. He's a well-balanced character that has a decent jump and decent speed. Picking Luigi allows you to jump pretty damn high. The downside is that he's got slippery controls, almost as if you're on the ice level of a game. He's hard to control, but he's great if you're into speedruns. Toad, on the other hand, has a really small, shitty jump, but he actually moves pretty damn quick. And lastly, you got Princess Toadstool. She feels pretty average. Her jump is probably the second worst, but she's got the ability to float in air for about a second and a half to make up for it. This actually makes her feel pretty damn useful, and I'd say she's great for beginners. Now throughout this game, you'll travel through 7 worlds, or only 20 levels, which is kind of a downgrade from the previous game's 32. But considering how much longer and more complex the levels in Super Mario Bros. 2 is, I don't really mind. As you play the game, you'll explore this world of Subcon. You'll travel through grassy lands, dangerous deserts, icy fields, perilous caves, and you'll even find yourself high up in the clouds. You'll find keys that you can use to open up locked doors. You'll travel down in vases, possibly finding secrets along the way. You'll dig through dirt, climb up chains and ladders, and fight the many, many enemies of this land. Speaking of, in this dream world, the only familiar Mario enemies is the Bob-ombs. Otherwise, these are entirely different bad guys than from the first game. We even got a few bosses, like Fry Guy and Tri-Clyde. My favorite enemy is Mauser, who is nothing special other than he's a giant mouse that wears glasses and throws bombs. You'll also see a lot of this enemy named Birdo. Well, that's what the enemy is known as today. The game manual says this enemy is called Ostro. This was a mistake though, as Ostro and the enemy referred to as Birdo were accidentally switched. This is a mistake that wouldn't have been fixed until way later, all the way until Super Mario Advance. As for Ostro's bio, he thinks he's a girl and he spits eggs from his mouth. He'd rather be called Birdetta. Huh. This has got to be the earliest version of a trans character in a video game, isn't it? How progressive of Nintendo. And finally, the boss of this whole game is not Mr. King Koopa himself, Bowser, but as mentioned earlier, it is a creature named Wart. The only way to defeat this guy is by throwing veggies in his mouth while it's open. Yeah, seriously, like a 5-year-old, his weakness is eating vegetables. And just a side note, this is Wart's only appearance as a villain in a game. He makes a cameo in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, but other than that, he hasn't made any real appearances anywhere. I like Bowser and all, but it's kind of refreshing to get a new villain here and there. Can we at least get Wart back for Super Mario Kart? Anyway, throw enough veggies in his mouth to kill him. And once you defeat him, you unleash some fairies. Huh. Then Mario kind of wakes up and goes back to sleep. Roll the credits! Wait, in the game manual it said that Mario dreamt about Subcom, but then found Subcom in the real world while with his friends. So it was all a dream, maybe within a dream? I don't know. But anyway, how is Super Mario Bros. 2 by today's standards? Well, let's be real here. Is there anyone who hasn't already played this game? It's freaking fantastic! Compared to the other Mario games on the NES, this one definitely has a different feel to it, but it's overall just fantastic. The gameplay is great and the variety in characters is something I adore. I remember playing this as a kid and just thinking how amazing it was to be able to pick different characters. Having different playable characters back in the old days was a real treat. And even today, getting that much variety on an NES game is appreciated. Other than that, the game has some catchy music, charming visuals, and a lot of secrets, which really ups the replay value. So if for whatever reason you haven't played this game yet, it's still worth checking out today. I feel like I'm saying something that doesn't really need to be said here. This game is worth looking into just because of its legacy alone. This game brought in so many characters and lore from the series, and hell, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show was heavily based off this game. So yeah, check it out. It's worth playing if you're new to it, and hell, if you grew up playing it, play it again, damn it! But those are just my opinions. What do you guys think? What do you think of Super Mario Bros. 2? Is it your favorite game? Is it your least favorite game? Is it somewhere in the middle? Let me know what you guys think about the game. Let's cross our fingers and hope that this Super Mario Bros. Movie is good, and maybe we can get another movie out of it, or maybe we can get like Legend of Zelda or Metroid or something like that made too. Oh god, that would be amazing. But anyway, thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you all on the next video. Take care.